Okay, I'm going to do this video in two parts because otherwise it becomes a very, very long video. The first part, we want to estimate what this would be if we graphed it, or what the answer is by graphing. We're still trying to find the solution to the system of equations. So I'm going to start with this x minus 4y equals 4. I want to get that into slope-intercept form. So x minus 4y minus 4. I'm actually going to erase this part. Okay, I want y equals mx plus b. It's supposed to be 4. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. And that leaves me with negative 4y equals negative x plus 4. Divide both sides by negative 4. And negative 4 divided by negative 4 is y. Well, negative 4y divided by negative 4 is just y. The negative 4's cancel each other out. We have a negative over a negative becomes a positive. So we have 1 over 4 times x. And positive 4 divided by negative 4 is negative 1. Okay, so that's what our red equation is going to look like. Our blue equation, which I'm going to rewrite up here a little bit higher and then go through the same steps. I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. That's going to cancel. Negative 3y equals negative 2x minus 3. Divide everything by negative 3. Y equals negative 2 divided by negative 3, positive 2 over 3. The negatives cancel each other out. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 becomes a plus 1. Okay, so there's our two equations, so we can graph this. Let's do the red one. The red one, let's just use the formula or the equation to do that. Our y-intercept is at negative 1. So I'm just going to go to negative 1 on my y-axis. There's my y-intercept. And my slope is 1/4, which means my rise is 1. And my run, you can see that, my run is 4. So I'm going to go up, start at my y-intercept, go up 1 over 4. And then I can go up 1 over 4 again. And then I have 3 points. And again, you only need 2 points. If you can put your line right through 2 points, then that works best. I mean, that'll give you a straight line. Every other point should be on there. Try that again. Okay. So I need to go right through that corner. All right, let's try that. Okay, so there's my red line. That's all right. So right here is negative 1. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's positive 4. And 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8. Okay, so then with my blue one, let's go ahead and make a table. And again, you can, when you make a table, you get to pick whatever x values you want. Okay, if you want to pick 43,292, go ahead and pick that. You probably should pick values that are actually on your graph. That 42,000 is not going to be on my graph. But also looking at this equation, my slope has a 3 in the denominator. And if I want to get rid of that fraction, remember this from when we were solving equations, if we want to get rid of a fraction, we have to multiply by the common denominator, a common multiple of the denominators. And so if I pick points that are common multiples of 3, then it'll get rid of my fraction and make things a little bit easier for me. So I'm going to pick negative 3, 0, and positive 3. Okay, so if I plug those in, I get y equals 2/3 times -3 plus 1. -3 times 2 is -6. -6 divided by 3 is -2. So I get -2 plus 1. -2 plus 1 is -1. So when x equals -3, y equals -1. And my ordered pair is -3, -1. When it's 0, that's probably the easiest one. Y equals 2/3 times 0. That's going to just cancel out, plus 1. So y just equals 1. And you'll notice that that's our y-intercept. That's the definition of the y-intercept, is when x equals 0, what does y equal? So our ordered pair there is 0, 1. And then our last one, y equals 2/3 times 3 plus 1. 2/3 times 3, 3 times 2 is 6. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So 2 plus 1, that's just going to give us a positive 3. Okay, so we have 3 points. Let's go ahead and graph those. -3, -1. So I'm going to go starting from the origin to the left 3. 1, 2, 3. There's my -3 for the x. And down 1. There's my -1 for the y. So there's my point right there, -3, -1. At 0, when x is 0, y is equal to 1. And then when x is 3, I'm going to go right 3. 1, 2, 3. That's 3 right there. My graph is at 3. 1, 2, 3. So right there's 3. Okay, so again, I can draw my line between these 2 points, or between any 2 points, but I'm using 3 points, I guess. Right about there. I'm going to end up drawing right through some of my table. Okay, so that gives me my intersection, and my intersection appears to be right about here-ish. And if I trace this up to the x-axis and over to the y-axis to try and get my values, they're not exactly on the line, especially my y value. My x value is very, very close to -5. So right here is -5. Very, very close to that. But my y value, I mean, it's between 1 and 1/2. Let's just say 1.25 or 1 1/4. Okay, and that's an estimate, and that's where kind of graphing to find a solution, depending on what you're doing, that might be close enough to be able to just estimate about where the lines intersect. But if you're trying to find the exact answer in a case like this, you're not really going to get it from a graph. Okay, so that's going to be the end of this video, and then I'm going to do another one that talks about how to solve these using algebra.